Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome to this video tutorial. In this tutorial, I am going to explain how to configure the SSH over the VTY line, and then how to configure access list and apply the access list to the VTY line to restrict the SSH traffic. Here we have three networks, three VLANs actually. VLAN 10, which belongs to IT department, which is marked by the blue color. Then VLAN 20, uh, representing the HR department, and the network address is 192.168.20, and it is represented by the pink color. And the yellow color is VLAN 30, and the name of the VLAN 30 is config department, and 192.168.30.0. So there are three VLANs out there. So by default, the communication cannot pass from one VLAN to another VLAN. So I have configured the router on a stick into VLAN communication, and you know how to do these things. So you can see the into VLAN communication. I have split this interface and made .10, .20 and .30, and configured the gateway IP address for this for each VLAN. Okay, so now there is no HSRP concept because we have only one router here. So this router, we call it as router on a stick, which allows the inter-VLAN communication. The focus of this lab session is not about the inter-VLAN communication, but how to access the SSH traffic through the VTY and how to restrict the SSH traffic between different VLANs. Okay, so by default, after configuring these VLANs and the router, okay, so I'm able to ping from this network to this network successfully. I mean, from this VLAN 10 to VLAN 20, I'm able to ping VLAN 30. Then from VLAN 20 to VLAN 30, I'm able to ping, and from VLAN 20 to VLAN 10, I'm able to ping successfully. So now let me configure the VTY line for switch for SSH. So enable config T. Okay, so I'm going to configure the SSH over VTY. So I'm going to give a host name. So R1 router name, and we have to give a domain name IP domain. Okay, example.com. Okay, IP domain name example, or let's say poly.ph. Okay, then we have to create a asymmetric key pair, private and public key, using RSA algorithm. So using crypto, I forgot this crypto, yeah, key, crypto key. Then what's the command? Generate Okay, we have only one algorithm, RSA. Then it's asking the key size. You can enter in the multiples of 512. So I enter 1024 as a key size. So now the key pairs are already created. Then let's give a username and password for the remote PC to use while it is connecting the SSH service. So username, let's say I give Tom, password is 123. Okay, so then let me enable secret Cisco for privilege execution mode. Enable secret Cisco. So now we go into the line VTY configuration 0 to 115, 0 to 15. So login local means while the remote PC connect to this switch, okay, through the SSH. Okay, then the credentials, login credentials, which we just configured locally in the switch database, that is username Tom and password 123. So that would be used. So we mention local here. Login local, and then so we have to say transport input SSH for SSH and transport input telnet for telnet. The other option for the remote PCs to connect with the switch or router is telnet, which is not secure. So exit, these are the configurations which you have to make inside the line VTY 015, 0 space 15, and then of course we have to configure the IP address for the VLAN. Okay, so to connect to the switch, we need some IP address. So there are three VLANs are available. The blue is IT and the pink is HR and the yellow is config VLAN. So let me use the config VLAN, okay, for that purpose. So interface VLAN 30 is the config VLAN. So then I give the IP. The network address for this is 192.168.30.0. So I put IP address 192.168, okay, 30 dot, let's say 30 dot, let's say 150 or something like that, okay. Yeah, I'll give the, because this PC IP is 10, 30.10, the gateway is 10.1, so I give like 30.11 as a switch address. 255, 255, 255.0 is the subnet mask. Okay, then I give no shutdown command. Okay, then exit, then IP default gateway. So for this network 30.0, the default gateway is 192.168.30.1, which you have already configured in the router, gateway router. So that's all we have for this. Just copy the running to startup. So once you have done this, okay, let's try to connect from we can now connect to this switch, okay, from any PC. So for the switch, what IP I gave is this 192.168.30.11/24. So this is the IP I gave for the, okay, switch. So let me try to connect from the config VLAN yellow. So let me go to the desktop command prompt, okay, SSH -L, okay, then the name of the user. I hope you remember the name of the user what I gave. The username is Tom, okay. Then what's the IP 192.168 30.11. So it's asking the password. You remember what password I gave for the user Tom? It is 123 123. And when you try to enter the privilege mode, it is asking the password. I hope you remember that also. I gave enable secret Cisco. So I give Cisco. That's it. So now we have already entered the router. So I can put the show run command. Okay. Then config t. So we are able to, I'm sorry, we have entered the switch. Okay. So from the remote PC, okay, and the VLAN is VLAN 30, the PC2, we are able to connect to the switch from the PC and we are able to do the configuration. Okay, so exit, exit. So we have come out of the SSH connection. Let me try to connect to the switch from the VLAN 10 from the IT VLAN also. So SSH-L, the user is Tom, and what else? The IP of the 192.168. Then what else? So 192.168 3.11. Okay. I made a mistake in the IP. Actually, it is not 3.11, 30.11, right? So it is asking the password. Password is 123 and enable and privilege mode to enter the privilege mode. It is asking the password. The password is Cisco. So that's it. So we are able to successfully log in into the switch from the VLAN 30, that is a config. And also please remember that I gave the IP to the switch from the VLAN 30. So VLAN 30 is like a native VLAN. Okay, and from this VLAN I gave the IP to the switch, and I configured the inter VLAN communication. So there is a communication exists between all the three VLANs. So the switch we are able to access from the yellow as well as from the blue, as well as if we want, we can access from the pink also. Let me check that now. So now let me try to connect to the SSH. I mean connect to the switch through the SSH service from the VLAN 20 HR. So SSH-L Tom 192.168.30.11. So yes, successful. And so that's it. So the point what I'm trying to make is this. So we are able to connect to the switch through the SSH service from different VLAN. Now we want to apply some restrictions. What is the restriction? So we have to allow, let's say there's a scenario, only IT department is allowed to connect to this switch through the SSH. The HR, that is pink, and any other department, it is not allowed. Let us assume like that. So pink is not allowed. Okay, only the blue, that is the IT, is allowed, and even the, let's say, the config also is not allowed. Okay, so how to do this now? So I go to this switch config t. Okay, then I create access list. So IP access list. Okay, standard. Okay, let me give the name SSH. So permit 192. So what is the network address of this IT is 10. So permit 192.168.10.0. Okay, 0.0.0.255. This is the wildcard mask. I know you uh, how you can find the wildcard mask. Okay, so I permit this network, IT network. Suppose let's say you want to allow this yellow also. Let's allow this. Okay, permit 192.168.30.10. Sorry, 30.0. 0.0.0.255. Okay, so we have permitted these two networks now. If you want to allow only one network, let's say the IT, then you can remove this second permit. That is, you can remove the 30 network from the access list. Okay, so I don't want to allow the SSH access to the switch from the, let's say, the HR department. So I'm not adding that network in this permit statement. Okay, so the by default, the last statement is deny any. So no need to explicitly mention this department. Okay, so because since it is not permitted, the default statement would be deny any, and hence this HR would not be allowed to access the switch through the SSH. Okay, so exit. Then what you have to do is like VTY 015. You go to the VTY. What's the mistake? Yeah, line VTY 015. Go to the VTY, and then you have to say like access. Sorry, IP access, not group here, class. You have to use class, and you have to enter the access list number or name. So we have created the access list using the name. So SSH in traffic to the incoming traffic. Okay. So what's the mistake? IP. Oh, the sorry, access class. There's no IP. I think. Yes, that's correct. So access class SSH in. That's it. So we have configured the access list in the VTY of this switch R1, where we are allowing the IT network and the config network, IT VLAN and the config VLAN to connect to the switch through the SSH, whereas we are not allowing the HR, which is in VLAN 20, to connect to the switch through the SSH. Okay, so go to the right. Let's check now. Okay, so I go here and I try to connect to the SSH. Yes, it is allowing the connection. Cisco. So password 123 123 enable. Okay, Cisco. So we are successfully connected from the config VLAN, okay, into the switch through the SSH. So that's successful. Let's check from the ID VLAN also now. Yes, it's happening now. 123 enable Cisco. So successful. We are able to connect to the switch through the SSH from the IT VLAN also. And let's check from the HR VLAN. Okay, so So connection refused by the remote host. So the from the HRV LAN, the connection to the SSH through the um, through the SSH VDY is not allowed. So this is one of the way. There are many options out there. This is one of the way by which we can apply the access list and control, restrict the traffic to a specific device, to the switch or to the router. Even the same thing you can apply to the router or many switches, and so on. So that's it. Um, Let me give the quick recap. So the main objective of this lab is this, to show you how to configure the SSH in a switch and how to access how to connect with the switches through the SSH service from different VLANs, and then how to restrict the traffic, allowing specific VLAN to access the switch through the SSH and not allowing specific VLANs. That's it. Thank you very much.